On the heels of the big game, we begin tonight with more football, but this time it's not touchdowns and defense, it's dollars and cents.
Specifically Pop Warner football. It's big business in Texas, but where does all that money go? Our Chris Willis has been investigating the former president of a specific Pop Warner association in Northwest Austin and joins us now live with exclusive information. Chris?
Robert, Leslie, good evening. Let's be clear right from the start here. Pop Warner is one of the largest nonprofit youth sports associations in the world. 42 states and several countries around the globe. And in Central Texas, the league is run by Central Texas Pop Warner. Under that league, there are several associations where the kids sign up and play. In the Northwest Austin Pop Warner Association, it costs $175 for every child. And many of those associations survive on those dues, fundraising, and sponsorships. But in Northwest Austin, if you think you're giving money to a nonprofit, you're wrong. The Northwest Austin Pop Warner Association had its nonprofit status revoked by the IRS 2 years ago for failing to file financial reports. And that could be big trouble for anyone using their donations in their tax returns. But nonprofit status is one thing. Alleged missing money is a completely separate issue. It's an issue parents and coaches have been trying to get to the bottom of for months now. And through our investigation, months of questions finally get answers.
Down, set, hop.
We don't just talk football. We talk about life.
It's a fact of life in Texas. Football is king. The kids start young. They play it. We cheer for it. And almost everyone involved watches it. But when we started looking at the Northwest Austin Pop Warner Association, we found out nobody was watching the finances.
There was nobody monitoring the money going in or out. Nobody was keeping a log of anything. It was just a free-for-all.
For months, Lisa Wells and a handful of other parents and coaches involved in the Northwest Austin Pop Warner Association tried to get a look at the association's finances, something clearly allowed under their specific bylaws, and for months, they were denied.
They were hiding something. They were trying to cover something up.
A shroud of secrecy. That didn't sit well with us, so we went to work with the Secretary of State's office, the Texas Comptroller, the IRS, the Board of Certified Fraud Examiners, and our attorneys. Needless to say, we got those financial records, and now we know what all the secrecy's about.
Once there became...
This is Sarah Voigt.
Can you turn that off, please?
The volunteer president of Northwest Austin Pop Warner for several years. She was finally voted out of that position in December. But while president, Voigt also acted as treasurer for a while, and that made her the one in control of the Northwest Austin Pop Warner bank card and the signee on the checks. Experts say that's a recipe for disaster.
One of the first things I do is look at those expenditures and look to see where the money was spent and how it was spent.
James Ratley is the CEO of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, the largest fraud examiner group in the world. He told us bank records don't lie.
It's an internal control that you have to have.
And if you know where and how to look, questions can soon get answered. For the parents and coaches, the question has always been, where is their money going? And for the first time, here's their answer. Because of time constraints, we'll skip the hundreds of dollars lost because of bounced checks and overdraft charges in 2009. We'll even bypass the hundreds of dollars spent on cell phone bills, flowers, and hotels back in 2010. And we'll get right to the account details of 2011. Starbucks, Mexican restaurants, barbecue from Rudy's and Southside Market in Elgin, donuts and edible arrangements. All money spent out of the Northwest Austin Pop Warner account, and it wasn't even during football season. Hundreds of dollars at the Holiday Inn in DeSoto, Texas, and a debit card cash withdrawal in August for more than $100. Charges that parents have a hard time swallowing.
I'll be damned if I'm going to let this stand.
Scott Colvin is a parent of the Northwest Austin Pop Warner Association and a former coach and board member.
Let's go, buddy, come on.
He says he was removed from those positions once he started making noise.
Nice block, Taylor.
About the association's finances.
There were children out here that were being manipulated and played with. Their money gone.
On one occasion, when pressed by parents and coaches, Sarah Voigt did release a financial statement for August of last year. It appears to be a homemade spreadsheet printed on a home computer. The charges Voigt included are accurate. It's what she left off the list that is raising eyebrows. Here's the proof. The weekend of August 12th through the 15th, a kids tournament in Dallas. Voigt listed 3 charges to that account: a cheerleading expense, bank fees, and a reimbursement to herself for more than $1,000. But when we examined the actual bank records, we found 19 additional charges in those 3 days, including a stay at the Wingate Hotel, Papado's Restaurant, Benihana, Iron Cactus, McDonald's, IHOP, even 2 charges at a Dallas liquor store.
Usually, anytime you have sloppy record keeping, there's fraudulent activity. The question is, can you prove it?
We made every effort to contact Sarah Voigt, assuming as president and treasurer, she would show us the receipts for those charges and explain the secrecy of the finances. Our phone calls and emails were ignored, so we tracked her down. Hey, Sarah, can we ask you a couple questions?
If somebody's not doing anything wrong, they say, here you go. They would have said that to the very first parent.
Taylor, come on. Mario Martinez had coached for 9 years and knew Sarah Voigt on a personal level, too. Former players and parents still call him Coach Mario. And those kids and parents, he says, deserve better.
It's kids' money, parents' money, hard-working money. I mean, this is hard. Parents bust their butts to have their kids playing football.
And because of that, we decided to dig a little deeper and also obtained copies of all the checks written on the Northwest Austin Pop Warner account in 2011. 4 specifically got our attention. They're called counter checks, all signed in the lobby of the bank by Sarah Voigt for cash. $95 in March, another $1,500 in May, $1,600 in July, and then $263.70 in December. That, incidentally, was the last transaction on that account. She closed it 2 days later. All the money was gone. All right, 2 side notes. After being voted out as president of the Northwest Austin Pop Warner Association, Sarah Voigt became the secretary of the Central Texas Pop Warner Board of Directors. Whether or not she's still in that position is unknown because the new president of Central Texas Pop Warner will not return an email or even call me back. Also, the Northwest Austin Pop Warner is just one association out of 18 Pop Warner groups in Central Texas. Our story is an isolated investigation into Northwest Austin Pop Warner and not reflective of the other 17 Pop Warner associations here in Central Texas. In the studio, Chris Willis, KXAN News.